Make a maybe.
We're getting closer to Pesach, so when it comes to buying vegetables, there are some interesting things. The Kitzur Shulchan Aruch says the first dipping for karpas, which we dip into the salt water, I'm sure out of all the people here, we would get at least 5 different opinions as to what you dip. Just interestingly, what it says in the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch is that we use Petrozeliah. So does anyone know how to say Petrozeliah in English? Petrozeliah is parsnip, and it is tasty, adds a special spice to the soup. And then he says, but it's better to use celery because celery tastes good when it is ready to eat, and it gets bitter afterwards. And the best thing, he says, is to take a radish. Now, I would be willing to bet that nobody here uses a radish, that everybody says it's a spring vegetable, and then they say all the reasons why spring. And our family uses potatoes because I'm sure that in Vielapola they didn't have fresh celery at this time of year, but they did have leftover potatoes. So that's what it's used. It's a vegetable, and it is dipped in salt water. One thing to point out for this year, since the first Seder is on Friday night and it's Shabbos, there are a number of the parts of the preparation that have to be done before Shabbos starts. And one of them is making the salt water. Even though all you're doing is putting salt into water, salt in water was a tanning solution. And you're not supposed to do that on Shabbos, create the solution, and therefore making the salt water before Shabbos is one of the things that is done this year. Many people would do it anyway before the start of the Seder, just to be able to go right ahead after davening is over, but this year especially so. A good day, gentlemen, and a good Seder.